story, y'all. The media is rightfully shook by the images of Afghan evacuees fleeing the Taliban the same way they fled our blast zones for the last 2 decades.
What we're seeing right now seems to be, it's been catastrophic, I would say, for the last week.
We've got to pull out all the stops here, because it is a betrayal of the Afghan people. If we don't save these people now, people won't stand up and help us next time.
I just feel sick to my stomach. I've felt that way since Sunday when we learned that Kabul had already fallen.
This has been bungled.
Everything is focused now on the evacuation effort and just how bungled that appears.
That's right. This is a bad look, Joe. You should have done the right thing. Kick the can down the road for another generation. Now, General, this is a total shock. Why wouldn't the U.S.-backed Afghan army fight for a worthy cause? America saving face in our mad dash to the airport.
Well, I think the U.S. Army has fought for a worthy cause for a long time. But I think the immediate issue is for the people of Afghanistan, survival. So there's a long history in this country of when invaders come, when forces come, when governments fall, you quickly switch sides. That's how you survive in Central Asia.
Biden should have had patience and trusted the war would be won by the original soldiers inspiring Gen Z grandkids. I love the new Gossip Girl. Now, President Biden pushed back on the media's assessment of the pullout, arguing that he was always going to have to backpedal his rosy predictions of an easy exit.
The evacuation of thousands of people from Kabul is going to be hard and painful, no matter when it started, when we began. There is no way to evacuate this many people without pain and loss of heartbreaking images you see on television.
General, by the president's own logic of evacuation always being hard, hasn't he just proven why we should never leave Afghanistan?
Well, that's why every previous administration said that they couldn't leave. And as President Biden said, that's not a very good reason for staying. It's not in our national interest to stay there. What we have to do is work against terrorism more broadly.
And obviously, I wasn't born when this war started, so Lila, why don't you jump in here?
Thank you, Kylie. It's awful to think of what will happen to the Afghan women and girls I haven't thought of until now.
I get that going to the airport is always a whole ordeal, especially when you have as much luggage as I do, but I don't want to hear about it. Incoming Afghans, be forewarned, your icebreaker should be another anecdote.
Such a valuable perspective, Otter. Thank you. Okay, now I need you all to focus. Vaccine-hesitant Americans are taking ivermectin, a deworming drug commonly used for livestock, to treat COVID symptoms. And where did they get the idea? Fox News host and leading horse dental implant spokesman Sean Hannity has entered the chat.
We now have numerous studies about therapeutics, Regeneron, ivermectin, that show that taken early, it can mitigate symptoms of COVID-19. Am I following the science right, doctor?
Now, as tempting as it is to condemn this, we shouldn't stigmatize people's poison control phone line flooding healthcare decisions. Be more patient with literal murderers, y'all.
We can't blame Americans for correctly discerning that life is better in this country if you are a horse.
People are being given a false choice. Pfizer COVID protection or worm-free bliss as you get your stomach pumped. Why can't we have both in America?
Now, General, since you're not as news-obsessed as me, you probably didn't hear that the U.S. military will now require all service members to be vaccinated following the FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine. So, General, how do you convince a soldier that detects IEDs for a living that the vaccine is safe?
Well, look, there's no reason why we shouldn't require every person in the United States military to be vaccinated. The Pfizer vaccine has been proven safe. It's even approved as of this morning by the FDA. So that issue should be off the table. You're in the United States military, you will be vaccinated.
Now, although Americans have previously turned to fish tank cleaner, random Ebola pills, and bleach smoothies, I really think we can say that this livestock dewormer approach to COVID care is isolated, and there's no larger issue with critical thinking, mistrust of our institutions, and science. Now, moving on. Afghanistan isn't the summer's only misguided, catastrophic pullout. OnlyFans has announced it's going to airlift all users posting sexually explicit content out of its revenue stream. And in general, only jump in if you think any of these acts should not be widely viewed, but the ban includes actual or simulated sexual intercourse, including genital, oral genital, anal, or oral anal, between persons of any sex, actual or simulated masturbation, any exhibition of the anus or genitals of any person which is extreme or offensive, actual or simulated material depicting bodily fluids commonly secreted during sexual conduct. Content that shows, promotes, advertises, results from, or refers to firearms, weapons, or any goods whose sale, possession, or use is subject to prohibitions or restrictions, drugs or drug paraphernalia, actual or simulated self-harm or suicide, actual or simulated incest, actual or simulated violence, rape, lack of consent, hypnosis, intoxication, sexual assault, torture, hardcore bondage, fisting, or genital mutilation, actual or simulated urine, scatological, or excrement-related material, actual or simulated bestiality, actual or simulated sadistic or masochistic abuse, or actual or simulated necrophilia. Any material featuring any individual who has not given prior express and fully informed consent to that material, A, being taken, captured, or otherwise memorialized, or B, being posted and shared on OnlyFans, escort services, sex trafficking, or prostitution. General, will this finally rescue underskilled Americans from exploitative sex work and redirect them toward dignified employment piloting drone bombings of civilians in Iraq?
I don't know.